Hi, we're from the Masakane Center, and today we're going to be talking about gender and sexual orientation. When we think of gender, we might hear terms like transgender, woman, man, or masculine and feminine. When we see gender in our everyday lives, it can be hard to see it from a distance, so let's start with the basics. What is gender and why does it matter? When it comes to gender, we often learn that certain markers or pencils or pens of identity define us into boys and girls. Most people are given genders when they're born. Oftentimes, people born with penises are called boys, and people born with vaginas are called girls. As we grow up, we're taught to define ourselves and each other with our voices, our bodies, the way we dress, feel, and express ourselves. We learn ways to be men or be women. In other words, to fit expectations of the genders we've been given. In our world, gender is often being enforced. In movies, on TV, and everyday life, we see two options of man and woman, and they're often presented to the extreme. However, at Masakane, we believe that defining people's genders based on their body parts or behavior can be really unhelpful when thinking of all the different lives and bodies that we can have. If we only use two categories of gender based on body parts, we ignore the experiences of intersex people whose bodies don't always fit the traditional ideas of male and female, and we also assign genders to transgender or gender nonconforming people that they might not feel fit them. In a society that isn't always supportive, transgender people, especially trans people of color and trans people with disabilities, are often most vulnerable when it comes to harassment, employment discrimination, income inequality, and housing insecurity. However, a lot is changing. Trans women of color led the Stonewall riots that helped spark the modern LGBTQ rights movement, and there are a number of community organizations around the country that are working to support the lives and livelihood of trans people and trans youth. It's important to remember that there's no way to look at someone and know their gender. Only we get to decide that for ourselves. At Masakane, we believe all people should be able to live and express themselves the ways they want to, with safety, support, and care. Along with gender, sexual orientation can be a really important part of understanding and expressing our own identities. When we talk about sexual orientation, we usually mean someone's sexual or emotional feelings towards people. This can mean being attracted to people of their own gender, of other genders, or not being attracted to anyone at all. Some people might know their orientations very early on in life, whereas others may go through challenging periods where they ask themselves, am I different? Could I be gay or queer? Maybe this is just a phase, these labels don't seem to fit me. At Masakane, we want you to know that there doesn't have to be a single answer. Sexual orientation can emerge over time and even change as life goes on. We encourage people not to have to label themselves after having feelings for people of different genders. Those experiences are common at any age. Labels that we've heard before, such as gay, lesbian, queer, heterosexual, or bi, can be really helpful but don't have to fit your own experiences perfectly. We encourage everyone to explore their sexual and romantic feelings with an open mind. Just as with gender, it's impossible to look at someone or their sexual and romantic behavior and know their orientation. Only we get to decide that for ourselves. The world often raises challenges to LGBTQ+ people, especially queer people of color, but there are ways to find the support people need, whether through organizations, family, or larger communities. Please take the time to find resources in your area. At the Masakane Center, we believe that all people deserve to feel safe and respected regardless of their gender or sexual orientation. Hopefully we can continue supporting each other in our personal lives and communities. Thanks for watching.
Free created using Powtoon.